Look at this, guys. Look at this, guys. Look at this, guys. The heavens must be weeping over so much senseless bloodshed on the earth. There comes the sun right now. That's maximum zoom in. Yes, watch. There are a number of planes in the sky right audibly right now here. With the low cloud, it's not possible to see them. Normally you don't see them anyway. At least I haven't seen them these days. We need to pray, especially for all the people who don't have any complicity in these acts of war, but who get so deeply hurt, terribly unjustly treated, lack of life, loss of life, destruction of property, serious injury, the normal lifetime of children completely ruined, all the trauma and the consequences of war, one war after another. When will we ever learn the transformation of every human being that's needed? A moment ago, as she was holding this camera up, I could see it was very red. Well, actually I still see it. It's not as red on the screen as my eyes can see it. So today we have the story of Jonah the prophet, a rebel prophet. And the pagans around him are really an ironic, what happened here? Really an ironic, I hope the screen isn't turning around for you. When I touch the screen, it turned sideways, the picture on the screen, but might not have turned for you. Tarshish is understood to be over in the Iberian direction, Spain, Portugal, the exact opposite to where Nineveh lies. And there's Jonah fleeing, going the exact opposite direction from his mission. A prophet refusing to carry out the mission entrusted by God. And that opens our eyes to the humanity of prophets. We are all weak human beings when we are sent to speak for God. Even parents, they have a great role of speaking for God, especially believing parents. But many times they go in the opposite direction. They shy away from their calling. And God's word doesn't reach the hearts of those made in his image and likeness, and they don't learn about him or know about him. I had a great conversation with a man yesterday at breakfast, and he was atheist until 39, but his parents didn't teach him about God. He's an extraordinary character, and God found a way to get his word into his heart. It's easier for the faith leaders to assimilate to the spirit of the times and not rock the boat of the status quo of political correct thinking. But also, a prophet doesn't do his job if he just denounces. A prophet has to teach God's love, especially by example of loving the people to whom the prophet speaks. And that's especially true of parents. The biggest guarantee of parents' effectiveness with their children is their love for them. And just like a prophet can rebel and go away from God's word, so can every one of us and every child. There's a great mystery there, and the need for prayer for the prophets and for all who listen to God's word through the prophets. Jonah's a very interesting case. Everything in the build-up of the story is all about him being reached by God through pagans, through the storm and the sea, through the lot that's cast. More and more, here's a branch that fell down. But you see, this branch fell down probably because it already had been deeply weakened. I'm not an expert on wood, so I can't tell you what force brought it down, but there has been heavy wind, so I presume that just didn't fall by chance and break off. It's a very big branch sustained from that one point. I wonder where it fell from. Most likely from this tree, right? but I don't see the tear on the trunk or up high either, but there's no other tree like this one right here, so it has to be from here, I presume. Interesting. It's a lot of tree over here, look. So it fell from there. It broke there. Oops. Did the screen turn around now? Right now it's turned around here, but I don't know why that happened. I just touched it to zoom in and zoom out. So one last look at that break up there. Come on, turn around on me again there. Trees are marvelous. There's a famous phrase, don't chop wood off a fallen tree. Well, obviously you chop it for burning, but when somebody has fallen in society, people take a lot of stabs at that person and ruin their name. Interesting little observation. We have to have great respect for somebody who's fallen, and even a prophet who's fallen, like Jonah. That's the bigger side of God's care with us, that no matter what our infidelities are, He stays with us to bring us back to Himself. So many images of that. By the way, there's a little etymological deal also in these parables. It'd be nice to know more Hebrew, really. But Jonah means a dove, and he's the son of Amittai, and Amittai is the fidelity of God. He's the son of God's fidelity. And Peter is Simon Bar Jonah, Simon the son of Jonah. His dad was called Jonah. Fisherman here at the Sea of Galilee. We are children of God's fidelity. He doesn't throw us out of the house because of our infidelities. He's always trying to get us back, like parents. And Jonah's non-conformity is not over when he's saved by the whale. It still continues. He doesn't want to preach. But then God accomplishes His purpose through him. And it's really for the conversion of Jonah himself. So the prophet needs to be converted himself. And not guide his life because of fear of the people, because he thinks his mission is too hard. Very interesting, isn't it? And then all the people who style themselves as prophets, as teachers of the faithful of the people, can give a counter example as well, even though they continue styling themselves as God's prophet, like we see in the parable of the Good Samaritan. And it's precisely today in this gospel that we see how the person who was really living God's love was a Samaritan, not even one of the chosen people, not to say one of the leaders. But the priests and the Levites go by and don't practice that love. The teaching of God's love and God's law is wrapped in love always has to be. Hey, come on. Camera keeps turning around. That second white one was running down the side of the hill there. I wanted to catch that, but with the phone turning around, I couldn't focus in. Some more cattle up there. I just had a couple of little drops of water on my face. So one of the things we can definitely do before we find the right words to say to people is the words of love, of doing. The words of doing. Sorry, all these delays are because I'm trying to deal with the focusing, and I never had this before happen to me, but the picture keeps turning around. Hopefully it doesn't do that for you. So God bless you today, people. See you later, alligators. It's funny, when you do the selfie mode, it does. There we get the sun. See you later, alligators. God bless you. Beautiful sky. Oh, just a little update. All our pilgrims kept moving yesterday and the day before through Galilee, visiting the holy sites, especially around the lake. But in Jerusalem, some of the groups that I've been in touch with are being confined to their hotels. Just so you know that here in Galilee, it's quiet, and the only thing we do here are the airplanes, but thanks be to God, there's a serenity here. Also a deep prayer for the change of heart and all the leadership involved, that reconciliation and ceasefire can come about. May the Lord bless you all.